But all of this is driven entirely by talented writers in the first place.
Of course, yeah.
And directors.
Yeah.
And crew and
Yeah.
cast. But then how do you source that material? How do you find projects that have that kind of potential?
I think the way that projects are selected is very important. So we're very clear about the kind of films we want to make. We don't want to make worthy issue-based films, because there's public money funds to do that. I love, you know, social realism is one of my favourite British cinema, but we were not interested in those kind of films. So one of the important things is our distributor in the UK, Optimum, who's very market savvy, very experienced. He's made great taste, Amoris Peros, Pan's Labyrinth, you know, some fantastic films. But he's also aware of what works and what doesn't. So when we don't take into development anything that he doesn't think will work.
So he's one of your filters?
Yeah. So, but it's that thing of the development is focused. So we're not just developing in a vacuum and then thinking at the end, oh, we'll hope a distributor will like it. We go and you know what? So we have dialogue every week. We've got 3-4 ideas. We've got this slasher horror. We've got this slasher horrors. They're not really doing, you know. Oh, we've got this smart psychological. Oh yeah, no, I can see that working. So we kind of then work with. Hush is a black filmmaker. We've got a problem in the UK. There aren't actually that many black directors. So we thought, but we didn't want to work with a black director who was going to make a film about black issues. You know, we just said they're done. They don't work. You know. Mm. So we thought, well, let's, you know, so we're going to work. You know, this guy, very talented writer, came in, but he had a genre film, and it's Hush, and it was so, you know, I mean, the pitch was fantastic. You know, the pitch was, you know, half a page, but you could just see that it was going to work. Yeah. So we gave him a bit, you know, small amount of money to go and write a draft, and he went and wrote a draft which delivered. So, you know, it's rather than sort of, like I said, you're working with the talent from very early on.
And very focused.
Very focused.
And very commercially driven.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't mean that we're mainstream. We're not at all.
But
you know.
But interestingly, I mean, here this is the SPA conference where a couple of years ago we had Americans, a couple of young Americans who work on the edge, who always maintain that today's extreme is tomorrow's mainstream.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that notion of creating something unique and different is what's driving your creative agenda. Yeah. But then it goes into a very commercial funnel.
Yeah. I mean, and the thing is as well is that if you're doing low budget, you haven't got a star. Very rarely you're going to have a big, you know, star A-list to hang it on. So you've got to come up with something that's going to rise it above. So if you give an example, Complete History of My Sexual Failures, the first doc. The title just says it all, you know. It's, you know, what the film's about. It means that when it's made, you know, when it's released, it will create column inches. You know, it will create copy and because
generate interest and
because the concept is not you run of the mill. So, and one of the things we said with genre is that we will make genre films, but we're going to twist them, we're going to flip them. You know, so if you think Dead Man's Shoes is a revenge western, you know, it is, but it's a really quality. So we made this Hush, which is you know a psychological thriller, but the way it's done, it's really twisted that genre. We've done this scheme called Dark Light, which is women do horror, and then in brackets not die in it. So basically, there's not a lot of women. There's fantastic female filmmakers in the UK. Horrors are very commercially, but actually, if you look at all the horror films that have been made over the last 10 years, I think you can pick 3 women directors who have made. And I'm thinking, well, I'm going to make, you know, women do love horror. Why are they not making them? So we decided that we're going to get 10 of the best female directors. We put them in a castle. We did a Ouija board seance. We got some great directors, a distributor, and we hot-housed ideas for a weekend. At the end of that weekend, we came up with, each director went away with 2 ideas that they were going to develop. That, you know, and then we filtered it down to 4. And we're actually going to be film 6 is one of those horror films that we did on the Dark Light scheme. So again, it's sort of thinking, you know, and what they've come out with is just a completely great take on the horror genre because they've got a different sensibility. So it's really, you know, so that gives you you know, so a lot of we set things off, and then we kind of just make sure that it's got points of all the way through the development process, you've got to hit, you know, deadlines are important, and getting people together. Hot housing is a really important thing. So, like I say, it's not somebody developing in a vacuum. You know, all the time they're talking to experienced horror filmmakers, experienced distributors, who are giving the, you know, experienced commissioners who are immediate feedback. You know, so they develop things that will work. And then you do 10, you know that one of them's going to come up with something that's going to be special. And
are you looking further afield than England for material?
Definitely. I think we've got one film which is a New York director, American director, very, very incredible visionary. So we're brokering talent. Again, the world's with the internet now, the world's a small place. So we want to make films that will connect to a worldwide audience.
Do you get unsolicited manuscripts?
No,
scripts?
we target. No, we started off. When we started off, we actually decided to have an open submissions process, an online web, internet-based one, and we were inundated, and actually the quality wasn't very good. So what we found that the development worked better when we thought, who's made a fantastic short this year, what writers are out there that are doing good stuff.
You cherry pick yourselves.
Yeah. Now at the moment it's working. We're getting enough good quality material. If that dips, we might go again to the open submission. But one of the things, and it's great being here, and I was in the, is that we are thinking the next phase of Warp X. Warp is looking more international. So looking not just on talent, but financing, distribution. So maybe so when we do the second, it would be good to actually think, okay, let's get an international partner in that, because I think that will help. Because you get we're on an island, a bit like, sort of, you can get a little, and I think it would really help.
So Australia is possibly on the horizon.
Australia would be great. I think Australia for low budget, you make some great low budget films. I think there's some great talent. We share a common language, so that would be, you've got great landscape, got very good, I think the whole tax credit, the way that's working now is interesting. So I think Australia's probably very high on the list that I think we could apply the business. So whether or not that means maybe 2 of the next slate are co-pros, or whether we just, come out here and set one up here. I don't, at the moment I'm investigating those possibilities, really.
Well, we might see you back here then.
Hopefully, yeah.
All right, thank you very much.
That's right. Thanks.